Okay, I was 16 days into the Special Air Service Regiment selection course, aka the Carter course, and we were down to less than 15% of the original candidates. Now, we had lost the majority of the 165 candidates within the first week. After seemingly endless kilometres of carrying heavy weights, loads and backpacks, hours of military skills, aptitude and physical and mental testing, eons of group physical punishment training and long periods of sleep deprivation whilst trying to stay aware and in tune, we're in the final stages of one of the most grueling tests ever devised. Now, technically, we had 5 days to go of the 21-day course, so I was potentially 5 days away from getting selected to attend the remainder of the 18-month reinforcement cycle. Finishing the Carter course doesn't guarantee getting selected, but if you finish the course, then you have at least a 50% chance of being selected. My main goal was to give it everything I had to get to the end. At least if I got to that stage and they didn't select me, then I know that I gave it everything I had, and that's all I could ask myself at that point. Now, to get through, I found that it helped to use certain mantras and sayings which organically came to me throughout my life and whilst I was training specifically for the course. I had 3 main mantras that served me well during the course and my career and every hard thing that I've done since. Firstly, I used the saying, I'm still alive. While I'm still conscious and lucid, while I'm still able to move, breathe and think, then I'm still in the fight. There's still a chance to win. If I'm unconscious or worse, then it doesn't matter. I'm out of the fight and I won't know what's happening anyway. But until then, I can keep fighting until I can't fight any longer. Keep fighting while I have some level of control over the outcome. The second mantra I used was, okay, let's just play this out. This was relevant for those times when I was ambushed by new problems or threats. To me, this meant that if a new problem was imposed on me, then I would adopt the mindset of keeping my mind open and working through the problem. It just meant getting through the current phase as best I can until the next phase or the problem came to an end. But I knew nothing was forever. So whatever adversity I was facing at any one point, it would be over as a matter of course. All I had to do was work the problem to find the solution as best I could whilst I was in it. Now, this leverages the common psychological tool called segmenting. The third mantra I had going through my head was burn the boats. The phrase originates from a story about a Spanish conquistador who began his conquest of the Aztec Empire in 1519. The story goes that by giving the order to burn the ships on which he and his men had come, he would eliminate all other options for himself and his men than to keep moving forward and succeed in their conquest. Now, obviously I did have options to go back to if I wasn't selected, but in my mind, before entertaining thoughts on my various fallback options, I would exhaust all avenues of increasing my probability of success for the future. I'd spent a lot of time over the previous 12 years of my life thinking, studying, training, and preparing to get to that stage. And I know that this was the same for many of the others still on the course with me. I knew I wasn't the fittest, fastest, or strongest, but I knew I didn't have to be. For me, I was all in. I didn't give myself any other option than to keep going. Now, barring crippling injury, getting knocked out, or being bozzed off the course, which is the process in which the instructors meet during a board of studies to assess if a particular candidate may or may not continue on the course or may not be suitable for the unit. Short of that happening, because I didn't have any control over situations like that, I did have control about how much preparation I had done and how much effort I was prepared to put in during the course and how I had perceived my performance thus far. I just needed to give it everything I had. Because if it matters that much, then giving yourself no other option than to move forward, overcome, succeed, win, or survive, by burning the boats, you have given yourself no other option. You can't go back. The only way is forward. Over the course of the next 20 years, I've drawn on many psychological tools, well-worn quotes, and gems of wisdom which have helped me through selection, war, all the ups and downs of my military career, business, family, and life. But more specifically, they've helped me to work the problem during the lowest of lows and during the most adverse situations I've ever experienced. I now use these mantras as talking points to explore various mental tools for mindset and mental conditioning during our Resilience 101 and Selection 101 seminars and mentoring programs. We discuss these mantras and many more like them, and we use these as concepts for developing ways to overcome adversity and to help us become more resilient. The reason for this is that, especially when it comes to becoming more resilient, experiencing hardship while implementing these tools is the best way to learn. It is the best way to become a tougher, wiser, and more competent person. There's an old saying that says hard work beats talent, meaning that even the most gifted athletes or workers or creators don't necessarily succeed in their field. It's the ones that work the hardest that have a greater probability of success. However, we think there's more to it than that. We believe that resilience beats talent, i.e. the hardest workers who can persevere through the most adverse conditions will greatly increase their chance of success. So the goal is to become more resilient. Resilience coupled with hard work and talent is the most powerful combination. This program is not just for SF selection candidates. It's for anyone who wants to be able to persevere through the most difficult things they could ever imagine themselves or ever contemplate taking on. If you want more information about our Resilience 101 or our Selection 101 programs, please go to our website, themillgym.com, and follow the links to Selection 101 or Resilience 101.